Yo guys, what's going on? Monday to 6 here, back to 2004 Ford Sport Trac. And let's see what we got going on today. Today we're going to be doing this differential cover right here from Perfect Launch. It's all made out of aluminum. It's got the supports here for the bearing caps. It's got the fill up top and the drain on the bottom with a magnet. We have the gasket to go with it, nice Velcro gasket. We got some brake part cleaner, some sealant to seal the rear end up. We have a pump here for the gear fluid. We have a Brillo scratch pad so we can go ahead and clean that old gasket off. We have a torque wrench so we can torque the bolts down. And we have a scraper just in case we need to scrape some of that old gasket off. Alright guys, let's get to it. Everything you see right here, there will be a link down in the description for. We're onto the Sport Trac. There is the differential cover. Here we have a little catch can right here. We'll go ahead and catch all the differential fluid. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start loosening all these bolts, and then we will eventually remove these. Keep the top one right there so the cover doesn't completely fall off, so we can drain all the old differential fluid. Going to go ahead and start breaking all these bolts loose. We got all the bolts and loose here. We'll go ahead and we'll just remove all the bolts except for that very top one so this diff cover doesn't slide into the oil catch can. Let's go ahead here, get this differential cover off. Oh, we're starting to get it here. There we go. You can see the color of it. Just go ahead. Let's go ahead and drain all that fluid out. It's almost like a honey color. It's not completely black, so that's good. Just go ahead and catch all that fluid there. You can see that top bolt holds the cover on so it doesn't fall on you. That top bolt removed now, we can go ahead and take the differential cover off. Go ahead, slide that on out. And there is our ring and pinion gears for the rear end. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to let this drip. We're going to let all the old gear fluid just drip out. I know it's a messy job. If you want to wear gloves, you can. But there's a lot of this differential fluid here on the bottom. If you want to go ahead and just help it out here, make sure we get as much new fluid in here as we can. See a lot of sediment at the bottom. Just go ahead and try to get that out as much as you can. Went ahead and got a couple rags here. Go ahead. Just want to clean the bottom part of this differential out as much as you can. Make sure you got a couple good shop rags. Just clean it out. Make sure everything stops dripping. You can go ahead and grab your red scratchy pad. I like to use this rather than the scraper because it can scratch the metal here, so I'll go ahead and I'll just remove all the old gasket. Get it all nice and cleaned up. Got all the gasket removed. That little red Brillo scrubby does a really good job. Alright, now we're just going to get a rag and we're going to clean this surface here. We're going to clean all this with brake parts cleaner, make sure all the oil residue is removed. Rag here, it just helps get all the contaminants and the oil off the surface here. Alright, let's go up top and let's prep our differential cover. We went ahead and backed off our bearing bolts here. Just went ahead and backed them up a little bit. You will notice here on the drain and the fill, there is no Teflon tape. We will be applying that, so we do not have any differential fluid leaking. Hardware is provided with the differential cover. We got the differential cover flipped over here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to prep the surface, make sure there's no contaminants on anything with the brake parts cleaner and the rag. Just to check your part first, here is our differential cover gasket. These two little notches will be orientated to the bottom of the differential cover. Go ahead and just line up your holes there. Make sure everything is matched up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to apply our Permatex here, our right stuff, our gasket material. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay a bead on the differential cover here. We're going to go around each hole and then we're going to spread everything out. Make sure there's a nice even coat of this Permatex on the differential cover. Now that we got the Permatex cut open and we got the nozzle on, we're going to go ahead and apply it to the cover. Here we go. We have it around the bolt holes and all the way around the differential cover. Now if you just want to take your finger here, kind of just smooth everything out. Make sure we coat everything. Just like this. Make sure not to get too much in that hole there. We'll clean that out, don't worry. Alright, here we got our Permatex covered all the way around. We'll go ahead and we'll put our Fel-Pro gasket on right now. With the Fel-Pro gasket in place, we're going to go ahead and grab the Permatex and we're going to do a light bead all the way around as well on this gasket. Here we have a nice layer on the differential cover gasket. We're going to go ahead underneath where the rear end is and we're going to put some of the right stuff on the differential. Now that we got a nice bead around the differential here, we'll go ahead and we'll just smooth it out. Now that we got a nice layer of the Permatex on there, we're going to go grab the differential cover and the hardware. Okay, going to go ahead, the differential cover on. Go ahead, line up the holes as best as you can. Let's get some hardware started. If you're having a hard time lining up the holes here, just grab a screwdriver. That'll help line the holes up when you go to put your bolts in. Alright, we're going to go ahead and we're going to torque these bolts down here on the differential. We've got our torque wrench. It is set to 25 foot-pounds. And we're going to go ahead and torque them in the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We got all the bolts torqued up on the outside. Now we're going to get these center bearing bolts right here. These will be torqued down to 5 foot-pounds. Now that we got the center bearing bolts torqued down to 5 foot-pounds, we're going to go ahead and put the nuts on them with a little bit of blue thread locker, and we're just going to snug those down both sides. Now that we got everything torqued down on here, we have to wait the allotted 90 minutes for that Permatex to dry to make a good seal. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this bottom drain bolt right here and I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put some Teflon tape on it. We got some Teflon tape on that bottom drain bolt. We've waited the 90 allotted minutes for that Permatex to cure, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to add our rear end differential fluid. We have Master Pro here, full synthetic 7590 gear oil. along with this handy dandy little pump right here. This makes it super easy to get this fluid into the differential. Let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, we got our differential fluid here with the pump on it. We're going to go ahead, insert the tube. We'll just start pumping here. You can see that fluid is super clear. When we remove the differential fluid, it looked like honey. We've already gone through one of these. We're on our second now. We'll just keep pumping. Alright, we used our second bottle. Going to go ahead and we're going to keep pumping in the third one. Alright, we used 3 of these bottles. I thought 3 would have filled it up, but let's go ahead and start on our fourth one. We're right at those 4 bottles, so I went ahead here on the front of the differential of the axles. You can see we have fluid coming out, so we are at the fill mark. So we'll go ahead and just tighten this back up. We should be good on fluid. Alright, we went ahead and got the 4 bottles in there. Went ahead and put Teflon tape on the fill bolt here. Gonna go ahead and put it back on and we should be all wrapped up. Alright guys, here is the differential cover for the 2004 Ford Sport Trac. It's looking good. We got everything sealed up, torqued, Teflon tape, new gear oil in the rear end. It's ready to go. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed. Monday to 6. Out.